What's up, guys? Good evening and welcome to Roma Theory Sliding Doors. This game will most probably decide our league season. Yes, it will. And if it goes badly from a sliding doors, it can end up being slide away, nobody knows. I've been wanting to say that the entire day, so I'm happy about that now. Very important game, massive game. Incredibly complicated game. I mean, look, we're going to speak about it in this dedicated match preview, but it sure won't. You don't need a match preview, and you don't need me to say that this game is an extremely complicated game. We're not favorites in this game one bit. I don't see us winning, and I am going to start off with a pessimism, because I see it as realism more than pessimism. So we need to try and deal with the realism that is attacking us at this moment of the season. Then next Thursday, of course, we've got the second leg against Bologna, or very, very, very important week. I mean, I said it yesterday, and I'm going to say it again because I believe this even today. These next two games can determine your season, and you need to be very careful about both of them with the team that you have, with the restrictions that you have, with the injuries that you have, and take in consideration everything in preparation for them. But look, it's a big day today when it comes to Roma. A very big day, because we've got the stadium announcement. It's official. Basically, what do you call it? The comune. Well, what do you call... I honestly don't know how you say in English. Commune? And oh yeah, it's the municipality of Rome, the council of Rome, whatever you want to call it, has officially confirmed and approved the new stadium project today. And the announcement from the mayor of Rome is that the first stone will be placed in the first few days of 2027. This is massive news. I mean, our own stadium it would be absolutely fantastic, absolutely massively important for us, for this country, for the football movement of this country. So it's definitely exciting stuff that the project got approved, that a majority voted in favor of it. In fact, I believe nobody voted against it, which shows how determined they were in making this. Now, of course, they have to make it, and this is the long part. It's gonna take a lot. We're in Italy. This ain't Sweden. This ain't Norway. This ain't Finland. This is Italy, and to be more specific, this is Rome. Wherever you dig, you find something archaeological. So it's gonna take time. It's going to take a lot of time. I mean, by the time I see it, God knows if I'll be here. God knows if all of us will be here. It's gonna take a lot. And but it's massive news, absolutely massive news, and bring it on, as I always say. Okay, let's focus on this game, because this is a very delicate game. This is sliding doors. This is sliding doors for our league season. If you win in Como, I would put you back as in a very big Champions League race. Like, if you were to win on Sunday, it would be a massive statement win. Like, it would be an incredibly strong statement win. If you win on Sunday, it would probably be, it could definitely be one of the biggest wins of the season. Like, it could. It would be a 6-pointer game. I don't see us winning on Sunday. There is no cell in my body. There is no cell in my body that sees a Roma win on Sunday. No. Like, there is no way that I'm seeing a Roma win on Sunday. I was chatting with Tecnica di Base this morning, and he asked, what do you think is going to happen on this Sunday and next Thursday? Because we were both agreeing on how these two games, our biggest fear is that these two games can determine our season. So I said that we were going to lose on Sunday and that we were going to win on Thursday. And I'm going to stick with this prediction. I think you lose on Sunday, and I think you win on Thursday against Bologna. Now, I think the Bologna game is more important. I think the Bologna game is more important because I know, as a matter of fact, that it is easier after what happened in that Juve game and how you backed it up with that Genoa game. It's easier to win the Europa League than get top four. And we're not going to get 5 teams in the Champions League. So, based on this, I'm like, the Thursday's game is more important. 100%. Like, 100%. Would I sign for a win on Thursday and a defeat on Sunday? Yes, I would. Look, I would. I'm an honest guy, hand on heart. You win on Thursday, you lose on Sunday. Do you sign? I sign. I sign. With a defeat on Sunday, you wouldn't be out mathematically of the Champions League race, but it would be impossible for you to get top four if you don't win on if you lose, because this is where I will bring you. If you ask me, would you sign for a draw on Sunday? I would sign a book. Like, I would sign every page of a book for a non-defeat on Sunday. But I don't think I'm the only one who does this. If you we'll wander around the city centre of Rome tonight, and you go to a fancy restaurant, and next to you, you've got Giampiero Gasperini having a dinner with his wife. And you ask him, Mister, how's your day going? Ah, yes, it's been exhausting. The stadium, the training. And then whenever you finish your little chat, you ask, would you sign for a draw on Sunday? Not only would Giampiero Gasperini go, yes, I would. Giampiero Gasperini would lift a glass of wine for that answer. So, it's not me who would sign for a draw. I think everyone would sign for a draw on Sunday. I would go as far to say that if you don't sign for a draw, I know it's a weak mentality, I absolutely agree, but I would go as far to say that if you don't accept for a draw on Sunday, you're delusional, because you're not going to win. And this is, I mean, I would love for you to clip this in case we win. I would absolutely love it. But as I said before, there is no part of me that believes you're going to win. So a draw would keep you same points as Como. And Juve, yes, I still think Juve are going to get fourth. But Juve play away at Udinese. And if you know, you know. Away at Udinese is not simple for anyone. So I would definitely sign for a draw on Sunday. Because Como are living a better moment than you. Because Como are more rested up than you. Because Como don't have a decisive game 4 days after in the Europa League knockout stage. Because Como don't have half the injuries that you have. Everything pens on their favour. You're away from home, adding to the list. Of course I'd sign for a draw. Like, I would treat that draw as 6 points. Not just 1 point. That's where we should start. I think, as I said, we need to be real. Because I think our biggest problem is that we're never real. And when we don't act with elements and tints of realism, we expect the best and then get mad when we see the worst. And that's our issue. Our issue is this. Look at realism in its eyes. Are you going to win on Sunday? No, you're not. You're not going to win on Sunday. And that's a fact. And that's a fact. And I would love to get proven wrong, as I said before. But I think that knowing this team, seeing the moment that we're living, which is not a good moment, all the injuries that we have, if you draw on Sunday, Como won't like a draw. Como need to win, and Como know that they need to win. So I think a draw on Sunday would be more of a win for you and a loss for Como. I think our manager would sign for a draw on Sunday. And I am almost convinced about this. I would be convinced to the element that if I do meet him at a fancy restaurant, I would pay his dinner, if I'm wrong. But I'm convinced that I'm right. I think this manager would sign with his blood for a draw on Sunday, and I think a lot of us would. Okay, let's zoom in on Como a second, because I think there's a lot to say about Como. By the way, hit the like, subscribe, do all of that good stuff down below. 100 likes would be great. Massive game on Sunday, massive game on Thursday. If you're ready for both, hit the like. It's a weekend. Smile on your face. Yeah, do all of that good stuff. Okay, zoom in on Como. I think, well, look, with all fairness, the reason I don't see you as favourites is not just because of your demerits, because I feel like it's very easy to look at things badly with Roma at the moment, but I also feel like sometimes you need to give credit to the other team. And one of the reasons why I don't see us win on Sunday is not just because of us, it's because Como are a better team than us, at time of speaking. In the first half of the season when you beat them 1-0, I think that was one of the most underlooked games of the season. Because not only did you beat Como, but you annihilated Como in that game. I remember that game very well. I was at the stadium, it was a few weeks before Christmas. That game was perfect. Gasperini packed a present and literally chucked it on Fabregas's face. He tactically masterminded Fabregas in that game. And Como did nothing in 90 minutes. You won 1-0. It was a close game, but you won 1-0. And I think, to this day, that was one of the most underlooked games, performances, and at the end of the day, the result of the season. One of the most important ones. The reason I'm now penning against us is because I think Como have matured a lot. Como have matured a lot for many reasons for me. Because I feel like recently I've seen Como play recently many times because they were close to us in the league table, so I was kind of hoping to produce good hate watches against them. So I ended up watching a lot of games. Como and Fabregas lately have changed one thing, which I think Fabregas has changed for the best, and which is why Como is performing way better now and is where they are right now. I think Fabregas in these last few months has kind of let go of that total obsession of playing like I want this team to play, no matter if we win or lose. Because Como recently have improved in one thing, and it's this improvement which has made Como become a better team. They now win dirty games and scrappy games. So Fabregas understood. I think, look, Fabregas is going to be a good manager. Fabregas will be a good manager. He's the classic. I was wrong about him at the start of the season because, and I will take the responsibility to say that I was wrong, because he's proved to me that he can change his style of play for the better. You know, there are managers, modern managers, that are completely obsessed with their tactics and their style of play, that they don't care about anything else. Like, as long as my team plays like I want it to play, then everything else is secondary for me. But that's not good mentality, because you will face teams that will know how to pack you up. And against these teams, you don't have other solutions and you end up losing points. Fabregas learned from this. Fabregas is like, okay, to be better, I need to do one thing. I need to keep the base. Of course, every manager has their base. Every manager has their core. But instead of always demanding this mechanical movement, this obsession of seeing the team play like I want it to play, I understood the importance of, in some games, what matters the most is the result. In some games, what matters the most isn't the performance. There are scrappy, dirty games that if you win them in a dirty and scrappy way, it massively changes your league table position. And which is why Como have escalated so many positions lately, because they've improved in this. I look at, for instance, their last game against Cagliari. That game is a game that Como won because Como put grit in that game. Because if Como would have played that game with Fabregas' obsession and not changing from that obsession, they would have lost that game. They won that game because sometimes in football, you need to adapt by being worse. By being aesthetically worse, but producing more. Producing and grinding the points out. So I think Fabregas, like any manager who has played with so many good champion managers in his footballing career, took a lot from every manager he had. And this is why I think Como have improved, because Como now know, first of all, how to win big games, because that's another thing that they've improved in. At the beginning of the season, they were like us. The problem with Como was the same problem with us. They didn't win big games. But then Como switched, you didn't switch. You still haven't made this switch. Como did. Because Como went to Turin against the Juventus and tactically masterminded Spalletti. Because Como went to San Siro against Allegri and produced a 1-1 draw. And a draw against Allegri this season is good. So I'm expecting a defeat on Sunday, unfortunately. Also because of, your own problems, your squad depth. These are all things that I mentioned in yesterday's match reaction, which are problems as to why we're feeling like we're living in this infinite loop. Because look at teams like Como. I know that they don't play midweek games. That's something to consider. But look at Como. Look at the preparation of teams like Como. No injuries. They've got 15, 16 players that Fabregas rotates and are quality players. They don't have a core of 11 players and then get to mid-March that 6 of these players are out of the season. So you're forced to play with 4 good ones and then all young players coming in. No. Good teams in modern football have good squad depth. So that's the other thing. The other thing is this. The other thing is that they're more prepared than you on an identity, not an identity kit, but on what they have in their bag as tools. But look, my predicted 11 is the one that shows Ndika suspended. I expect Ziokoski to play in the middle, Gilardi on the left and Mancho on the right. 4 in the middle. I expect Kone to come back, Cristante, Celik and Wesley, and then advance Pisilli, Pellegrini and Malen. And these players are going to play next Thursday against Bologna as well. So that's something that you need to be prepared about. Look, I think as I forgot what I was going to say. What was I going to say? What was I going to say? I completely forgot. Anyways, let me read a few comments. Roman says Hermoso is going to start. Chris says he's nervous. By the way, I'm curious to ask everyone a question here. Would you sign for a defeat on Thursday, but you're advancing against Bologna on Thursday? So I want a quick yes or no answer, just to see what the feeling is. Would people sign for a defeat on Sunday against Como? So you lose on Sunday, but you go through on Thursday and you qualify for the quarterfinals. Yes or no? I just want to know. I'm curious. I'm not going to judge anyone. I'm just curious. I don't mind if we lose this because Thursday's match is more important. Well, look, maybe I phrased it badly. I will mind. Because you need to remember that if you lose this game, you're almost automatically out of top 4. So I will be pissed if you lose this game. But I feel like this is not the game that if you lose will cost you the season. For me, it's still that Juve game. For me, it's still that Juve game. For me, it's still that Udinese game. For me, it's still that Cagliari game. Had you won against Juventus, had you won against Cagliari, had you won against Genoa last weekend, fuck it. You can lose away to Como. But it's a bit of everything that still gives salt in my mouth. Giorgio doesn't accept a draw this time. I didn't say that I mean that making it to the semis would be more amazing because we've still got 9 more games in the Serie A. I believe that we can beat Como. Love the positivity. Draw sounds good right now. Worst case scenario, only a point behind Juve and still equal to Como, says Daci. We will end up in 7th or 8th. Our mentality is shattered since that stupid game. You won't finish 8th. You won't finish 8th. You will get European football. The issue is that there is a chance that you get Conference League. That's the issue. The issue is that. You won't get 8th. I mean, come on. Getting 8th means that Bologna needs to get ahead of you. Guys, I understand that we're not living a good moment, but this level of pessimism, come on. Like, for you to get 8th, Bologna needs to go past you. Bologna, who've got 39 points. You've got 51. Atalanta or 5 points behind. I can understand why people say that Atalanta, Juve, Como can go ahead of you. Worst case scenario, we're like the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst, but like of the worst that like thunderstorm hits you. That fucking kind of luck. You're in the Conference League next year. We don't want that. Of course we don't. But you're not gonna get past the 7th spot. Like that is mathematical. That's the same mathematical equation as saying we're gonna win the league. Like it's the same amount of points, effectively. So the worst of the worst, you're playing Conference League, but we don't want that. Hang on, my parents are shouting. Scusate, potete non urlare, grazie. Okay, sorry. Juventus want Malan Dybala is going to Boca Juniors. Yes, no, yes, no. A lot of mixed answers. Okay. I'll give it. I'll give it. I like how people want more. I just feel like this playing well on Sunday, playing well on Sunday, playing well on Thursday, playing well on Sunday, playing well on Thursday will be the reason why at the end of the season you'll have nothing in your hands. So, you know, for me, my fear is this. Now, I'm not saying that if you go all in on one, you're gonna get your desired objective, but the probability is definitely higher. For me, the reason why I, in a bit, say that we must go all in on something is because if we don't, we will 100% end up with nothing. It's like you shoot, you go hunting, you shoot, and you get absolutely nothing, and you get back empty-handed. Is 7th Conference League still? Well, I believe if Lazio wins the Coppa Italia, then everything shifts. But frankly speaking, I don't even want to hear about Lazio winning something this year. And they need to play in Bergamo the second leg, which I think they'll lose. Because Atalanta, especially after that 6-1 defeat to Bayern, will put a lot of pride in that Coppa Italia game against Lazio. So if Lazio win the Coppa Italia, then they get Europa League, which means that everything probably shifts by one. So yeah, I probably agree. If Lazio win the Coppa Italia, 7th doesn't grant you anything. But Lazio need to win the Coppa Italia for that to happen. Or maybe... I don't know. This is why I don't like calculations now. Because now we just focus on games. And then we'll see where we end up. 6 games left in Europa, 10 in the league. You still have Inter away, Como away, Bologna away, and the Derby. I like our odds in the Europa League more. Juve have an easier schedule to end the season. I agree. I believe we have a better chance in the league rather than the Europa League. We need a huge amount of luck to win the Europa League and advance to the Champions League. Well, mate, you need an incredible amount of luck to get top 4 too. So if we're basing it on luck, we shouldn't, because we're the most unluckiest team that football has created. Simo, we can't beat Aston Villa without healthy Dybala, and we know it ain't happening. No, I don't know that it ain't happening. Never said that. And I don't want to not believe in it, because if I believe in the Europa League more than the league, so whoever we'll face in Europe, I will be the first one to believe. So no, I don't like that. If we get Aston Villa, we're out. Let's not play it. We can beat Aston Villa. I think Aston Villa are more beatable than Como at the moment. That's my point. I think Aston Villa are definitely more beatable than Como at the moment. And I think a Como-Aston Villa game at the moment, Como would win. So it's hard. I've said it. Villa are better than you, but that doesn't mean that we can't believe. Remember that. Okay. I'll catch you on Sunday for the Como match reaction. Hit the like, subscribe. 100 likes would be great. Please do hit the like button. Share this video with your friends and families. It supports the video and the channel a lot. It pushes the algorithm to push the videos out. So pump it up, and I'll catch you soon. See you more.